Here we go. Welcome to the Entrepreneur Sushi Club podcast. I am your host, Lubna, and I'm joined today by my amazing co-host, the one and only...
Gail Edwards, it's me.
The Entrepreneur Sushi Club podcast is a bi-weekly podcast where we give you insight into the personality of successful sushi-adoring entrepreneurs, showing you that success is all about having fun in and with your business without the hustle and the grinding. And we have an amazing guest this week for you. She is in the Netherlands, just like me. Finally, someone who's in the same country as I am.
That makes a nice change.
Exactly. Instead of US, UK, and all over the world, we've got a Dutchie in the house. So I am speaking about the amazing Sarah Kim Tulen, who is the founder of Communaholics Agency. I love the oholics. A digital marketing agency that creates innovative digital strategies for open-minded clients. Sarah's agency runs on a green initiative that is written into every contract called PLANT10 Communaholics, plants 10 trees for every month of work done with a client. I'm fumbling over my words. Sarah has been eating sushi. She was 2 years old. I would not believe I would ever meet someone who's been eating sushi longer than I have. But she's regularly known for ordering so much sushi for herself that restaurants often deliver 2 to 3 pairs of chopsticks. And she's going to prove that to be true, ladies and gentlemen, because Sarah has sushi live with us on the call.
It's a problem.
Yeah. Her favorite sushi dishes include Santa Barbara Uni, Chu-Toro nigiri, Shimaji nigiri, and anything with yuzu kosho on top. That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Wow. Can I just say, before we go on, Sarah, this is a first. We've never had anyone live eating sushi or having sushi live on air. This is amazing. Oh, I can't wait.
I want to get into the spirit, Yeah,
well, exactly. And by the way, that's a lot of sushi you got there, Sarah.
Hence the 2 to 3. Yeah. Hence the 2 to 3 pairs of chopsticks, because they assume it's for more than one person.
They came with the appetizer today because they thought it was like a date night thing, but it's just me.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Lots of sushi.
Lots of sushi.
Well, Sarah, let's dive straight into the sushi with one of the most important questions of our podcast. Are you ready?
I hope you are ready, because this is a hard-hitting one. You're going to need to think about this, Sarah.
Yeah.
Go for it, Lubes.
Yeah. And you can win Gale points. They are very special, and I'm not going to tell you how you can win them. You just need to mention the code word. But let's start with, what is your favorite sushi and why?
Oh, gosh. Well, as I stated, a long list of my favorite sushis. I am like a purist. I like traditional sushi. I am not very big on like the big rolls with all the stuff. Like, they're delicious, but they're not like sushi, So anything that's traditional, like nigiri with good sushi rice, that's the best. When the sushi rice is spot on, it supports the rest of the dish.
Oh, so another hard-hitting question for you. To wasabi or not wasabi?
Oh, I do like fresh wasabi and pickled wasabi. I don't like the green paste. Some, like, you have to be at like a bougie or sushi bar though for them to have like the fresh wasabi. But when they do have it, I like it.
I love fresh wasabi, but we have a lot of the green paste as well. But I'm a big wasabi girl. But the fact that you mentioned sushi purist, you definitely get Gale points. You definitely get Gale points. So Sarah, I'm going to ask you one more sushi question before we really dive into who you are as a person, a business owner as well. But, when it comes to your sushi, you clearly know your sushi. There's no doubt. I mean, you've been eating it since you were 2, which is great. I think that's even longer than me, to be honest. But if you were a sushi, Sarah, if you were creating your own Sarah sushi, what kind of sushi would you be and why? And what would you have in it? What would be the ingredients and why?
Oh my gosh, that's like, if you're at first I was thinking that you were asking me like if I had to like exist as a piece of sushi, what would it be? And I was like, I don't know, like salads are cute. Okay, one of my favorite is just like yellowtail with a little bit of lemon and some coarse salt on top. There's a place in Orange County, California, shameless plug, called Hamamori, and they have the most amazing yellowtail nigiri ever. So I guess that specific piece of nigiri is what I'd want to be a Sarah sushi.
And what does that represent in terms of your personality? What does the yellowtail tell us about you?
I don't know. I mean, maybe because it sounds simple, like my name's very basic, but then like the lemon and salt's a little surprise. I don't know.
Oh, nice.
But
nice.
There's a little something extra maybe.
Oh, and I think you could be onto something there. I mean, certainly from your bio, there is definitely a little something extra, a little something surprising. I love the whole sustainability around your business, tying it to climate change with the trees. I love that. But before we get into that, Sarah, what was your inspiration for your business? Where did that come from?
So 2020 was a really long year for everyone. But in 2020, I was working at one of the best communication agencies in New York City, and I left my job when the pandemic got bad in the city to go and help my grandparents in California. And then my husband's visa expired, so we came to the Netherlands. So like all summer, I was like sitting and I didn't know anyone, and I watched probably everything on Netflix. And then one day I was reading an article about generational differences between Gen Z and millennials, because I'm very borderline and it's something that really interests me. And they define Gen Z as communaholics, and I'm like, that's such a cute name. Like, at first I wanted to sell like some presentations and make it kind of like a digital space that people could go to for resources. And then I was like, you know what? I have so much time on my hands. Like, I might as well try to make it a full thing. And then, within a couple of months, I have a full client roster.
Wow. And you're right. Communaholics is such a great name. And that's a really good distinction as well between the millennials and Gen Z, because even in my mind, I mean, I'm so clearly not millennial or Gen Z.
Are you sure, Gail?
Well, I think I might be borderline. But, it certainly from my generation, it's like, gosh, they're so closely aligned. Where is that difference? So hearing you say that kind of helps in my own understanding to set it apart. And now you say it, I'm like, of course, absolutely. So your business is quite new. You've already got a full roster, which is great.
Yeah.
So I suppose the question is, where do you go from here? How are you thinking of expanding that? And, with like I said, with the alignment with the climate change, what else can we expect from Communaholics?
So hopefully as I grow, I'm able to do different initiatives. Like, I want the trees to always be a steady thing, but I'd really like to have some sort of annual initiative that we work towards that gives back to like a social cause rather than an environmental cause. And, I'm hoping like hiring someone's a completely like crazy thing to me at 22, but like I've been thinking about it a lot, and I know that probably by summer I'll have to. Maybe I'll start with an intern. I'll inch into it. I'm kind of scared. But yeah, hopefully, my goal is to have like 5 employees by 2023. I want to keep it small. I don't want to scale too fast and get ahead of myself. I don't want to grow to resent it. So I'm just trying to chill.
But you also said you work for open-minded clients. Why specifically open-minded clients?
Well, I think that, if anyone goes to my Instagram at Communaholics, my branding is very pink and girly, and my little emblem is like a Powerpuff Girl. And I also have a green initiative. And, some people told me to maybe like scale back the branding. And I was like, no, like the people that I work with won't be deterred by that. I want people that are open-minded enough to, embrace my branding and embrace the fact that some of the money people pay me goes towards planting trees. So that's the main reason they have to be open-minded. And I'm really interested in experiential marketing. It's something I'd really like to get into after COVID's finished. And so, to go in with like experiential marketing, you have to be pretty open-minded. I'm working on something right now for someone, and I'm very happy with it.
Cool. And just I think that is a good point, Sarah, that I just want to highlight, because most of us who are not a millennial are so into what will other people think, and are very hesitant, I'm going to use a smaller word, hesitant to really step into their personality, however that is. I mean, if you like black or you like pink or bright pink, whatever it is for you, and really embrace who you are, and then the right people will show up. I mean, it is the story behind this podcast. I shared it with one person, Gail. She responded very enthusiastically. And now here we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary in a couple of weeks of this podcast. And people are loving the idea of a combination between entrepreneurs and sushi. But that had everything to do with me having the courage to even mention that I had the idea, someone else actually saying, oh my God, I love the idea and I want to contribute. And from there, you grow more and more. So how is it that you really, where did you tap into when you said, this is me, and I'm going to show the world that this is me, and I'm going to trust that the right people will come to me? Because that is the secret.
Absolutely.
It really is. Yeah, I think I had that moment when I made my initial website. My initial website was very much different. It was like a little bit more like edgy. I don't know. Like it had like a static ETB, and like my initial logo was like a lightning bolt, and completely different. Like I was trying to make it like a little bit more boyish, maybe. To appeal to the masses. But looking back at it now, I'm like, that was such an ugly website. And making that switch, like when I found my logo, I was on an open like digital art website, and I tracked down the artist and I paid her for the work, because I know that a lot of people probably just used it without telling her. And that was something that was really important to me, was that she got like commission for what I was using it for. But like right when I saw the little Powerpuff Girl, I was like, she's such a communaholic. Like that's what she is. So that was
love it.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. It's just, I talk a lot about authenticity, about people really showing up as who they are, and kind of, how can I say it? Just being who they are in all their glory, because their tribe they'll get it. They will automatically get it. So I'm not a big fan. It's not that I don't believe in it, because I do, because everything works. But I'm not a big fan of, your ideal client avatar and all that stuff. Because I think if you are you, and you are fully you, and you show up and you provide a service just to really, and you genuinely care about people, then your people will show up. So I'm glad that that's what you're doing in your work, Sarah, because it's so important, especially entrepreneurs and business owners. We are bombarded, oh my gosh, with so much information around marketing and funnels and tools and so many guru type programs that we should be following. But all we want is someone who's real. Someone who's real, gets it, gets me in all my quirkiness, and is able to help me. So I want to say thank you for providing that service. I'm probably not your ideal client, because I'm certainly not Gen Z or millennial or even Gen Y, I don't think. You have to go further back in the alphabet.
I work with people literally from all walks of life. I really appreciate that you said that, because I thought that like with like voicing my brand so loudly, I'd get like a very specific type of entrepreneur and that I'd primarily be working with women, but I actually work mainly with men. And that really shocked me, for sure.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, to be really fair.
Not at all.
I'm not surprised. Having worked in a lot of male-oriented, male-dominated environments, that they appreciate someone showing up as themselves more than women. Women tend to be careful more, and I'm generalizing, I know, because not everyone is the same, but I'm not surprised that at all.
Yeah, that you do a good point. I mean, even as like female entrepreneurs, we probably all have had that like skepticism.
Oh, yeah, believe you me. Yeah, absolutely. So I've got 2 more questions that are, my brain is going curious right now. So the very first one is, what is experiential marketing?
Ooh.
Can't even use the word.
So experiential marketing, like interactive marketing, like you probably heard of like the Museum of Ice Cream, like that's a form of like experiential marketing, or Refinery 29's our 29 rooms. Those types of things, like, you know, kind of like ploys to get people to interact with the product in a different way.
Awesome.
I'm actually going to the Van Gogh exhibition in London later this year, which is very experiential.
Oh, I love it.
Hear more.
And now I'm intrigued, not even curious, but intrigued. Now we know that you started eating sushi when you were 2 years old. And when we asked about your favorite sushi, you mentioned that you are a purist. So you go for the classical sushi. Now my brain is going, wait a minute, classical sushi versus experiential marketing. So I have to ask, how experiential are you with your sushi?
I will try everything. I've had sea cucumber. I've had literally like all of the things. So I think fairly experiential. The sea cucumber was not well received. I got it from a woman I was sitting next to at a sushi bar when I was like 10. And I'm part Korean. My maiden name is Kim, and she was Korean. And so I couldn't say no when she offered it to me. And so I had to take it, and it was like traumatizing because it was like moving in my mouth, and I was like, oh, like I don't like it. Yeah.
Okay. What is the what's the question? So for our listeners that are watching this video or are listening, based on your expertise around digital marketing, what are the top 3 tips for someone that is listening and thinking, I know I need to do marketing, and I know it has to be digital marketing because that's what we have right now, especially with all of the global pandemic and lockdowns all over the world. But where do I start?
Yes, that's such a good question. Like, I think that a lot of businesses have come onto social media because of the pandemic. I think that my biggest thing would be to not be afraid to spend money on paid advertising, because I usually suggest that people put, you know, around $1,000 just into ad testing for the first month, because then you can lower the budget significantly once you find the most receptive market. And that number scares a lot of people, and I totally understand that. If someone came to me with that number, I'd be like, whoa, are you sure? But I think that, you know, even just putting like whatever you're comfortable into the Facebook ads, so that way you can test out, you know, what's good and what's bad, and just getting into it, because the more ads you run, ideally, the more optimized they'll be, and the lower the cost per click will be. So just starting. And then on Instagram, don't copy and paste the same list of hashtags. A lot of people do that, but it can get you shadow banned. There's a lot of things that people do that are like considered normal that can actually really hurt engagement like that.
But it's funny you say that though, Sarah, because that was the strategy that was taught by a lot of so-called Instagram experts. Oh, just put all your hashtags in notes or something and just copy and paste them into all of your posts. And many of us have learned the hard way about doing that.
Yeah, I mean, now the Instagram algorithm marks it as spam because they see that you're reposting the same thing over and over, and it can't really tell the difference between like if you're just like posting a list of hashtags or if you're just like posting the same caption over and over and over. So usually, even if you just rotate like 1 or 2 hashtags out of your list every week, it's really helpful, and it'll definitely prevent against you getting shadow banned.
Yeah, I've heard that before from Instagram, that at least 2 to 3, maybe 4 hashtags every time so that they don't see it as one. So I love your tips. So number 1 is put money into advertising, because organic reach is very, very difficult. It takes a lot of time. So you want to get out there as fast as you can. And number 2 is the hashtag strategy on Instagram. What is your number 3 tip?
To be able to admit when you need help, I think is a huge one, because a lot of people, you know, I get it. Your business is your baby, and handing over power in any way can be really difficult for an entrepreneur. But, you know, if you're not trained in marketing or digital marketing, you know, and you're running your own Facebook ads, you could be losing a lot of money running Facebook ads because you don't know how the platform works and it's so complicated. Or you could you know, your company could go viral if you had like the right manager. So like at least exploring the options of getting help with those sorts of things.
Oh, I love those. And I love that you shared that about asking for help, because I was in a clubhouse room yesterday, and one of the speakers shared a quote that says, don't work hard where others play.
Absolutely. What a fabulous quote.
That's amazing. That should go on a coffee cup.
I know.
Absolutely. Don't work hard where others play. Okay, I'm putting that on my list of merchandise now.
Yeah, it spoke to me. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's so true. Others play on marketing or any other skill out there. Well, for us, it's very hard work if you try to do anything else. So, Gail, do you have any parting questions or remark as we move towards the end of our time together for now?
Well, no, because we are coming to the end, and I think Sarah's shared some wonderful tips with us. All I would like to ask Sarah is, for our listeners and our viewers, if they want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Yeah, there's so many ways. You can DM me on Instagram at Communaholics. You can contact me through my website, or like, maybe I shouldn't say my email on here, but Sarah at Communaholics.
Okay. We did warn you.
We'll make sure that we add the links to Sarah's website and Instagram in the description of this episode. We will leave out the email, considering that is a personal email address, and I don't think I would be GDPR compliant if we did do that. So let's play safe with this one.
Please.
But Sarah, thank you so very much. Is there anything that you would like to end on our time together?
I think we covered it all, but I hope you guys order as much sushi as I did. Like, I hope you guys have some tonight. And if you guys ever want to grab sushi in real life, once COVID is not a thing, you know, I'm in your neighborhood.
Yeah, you're in mine, so we are definitely going to do that when we're allowed outside again and we don't have a curfew.
And you're only 45 minutes away from me, so anything's possible. Oh yeah, it's only 45 minutes on the plane from here to Amsterdam. So
minor details.
Minor details.
It takes me longer to get over the other side of London. So.
Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, Sarah, thank you so very much for joining us for this episode of the Entrepreneur Sushi Club, and for you that is listening to this episode, thank you. And we would love to know, as always, what has been your biggest insight and takeaway from the conversation with Sarah. do take a moment and share this with us in our Facebook group, the Entrepreneur Sushi Club. You will find the link to this group in the description of this episode. And if you know someone who will benefit from listening to this episode, please do share this one. And if you are a sushi adoring entrepreneur, or you know a sushi adoring entrepreneur, know that we're always looking for amazing guests. Please do reach out. For now, have an amazing day wherever you are in the world. Enjoy, have fun, and we will see you on the next one.
Bye.
Thank you.